Welcoming all to the second module of problem solving using Python. These are the contents of the second module. It mainly consists of all the functions related to strings, lists, tuples and dictionaries. The Python string data type is a sequence made up of one or more individual characters where a character could be a letter, digit, white space or any other symbol. Python treats strings as contiguous series of characters delimited by single, double or even triple quotes. Python has a built-in string class named str. Let us look at the most common operation with strings, that is concatenation. So you all know the word concatenate means to join together. Python allows us to concatenate two strings using the plus operator. An example is given in the slide. Strings are useful in handling user input. We prefer to read data in using strings and then pass and convert it to the appropriate data type we need. This gives us more control over the error situations or bad user input. Raw input numbers must be first converted into strings. In the given example, the first one is where we will read in a string and try to print it. In the second one also, we are using the same function called raw_input to input a number 100. But by the virtue of the function raw_input, 100 is stored as a string, and when we try to subtract a value of 10 from the input value, it gives us an error. So we can convert it into the appropriate integer format and then get the output. Looking inside the strings, we can see individual characters in a string are accessed using the subscript operator called the square bracket. The expression in brackets is called an index. The index specifies a member of an ordered set, and in this case it specifies the character we want to access from the given set of characters in the string. The index of the first character is 0 and that of the last character is n-1, where n is the number of characters in the string. If we try to exceed the bounds, that is if we go below 0 or above n-1, an error is raised. An example is given to show the above set point. To find the length of a string, there is a function available called len. So an example is given where we will find the length of the string with the help of the function length. We can loop through the strings using two methods, either using the while loop or for loop. And examples are provided using both while loop and the for loop. And the sample output is also shown. Let us look at the slice operation of the string. A substring of a string is called a slice. The slice operation is used to refer to subparts of the sequences and strings. You can take the subset of a string from the original string by using the square bracket, which is also called the slicing operator. The general syntax of slice operation can be thought of as the string variable, and within square bracket we can mention the start and the end, which is separated by the colons, where start specifies the beginning index of the substring and end -1 is the index of the last character. So in the given example, we have a string s is equal to Monty Python, and different examples or different start and end are given to understand the slicing operation. An example of string concatenation is given. A string concatenation is done with the help of the plus operator. There is also another operator called in operator. It is used with strings to determine whether a string is present in another string. Similarly, there is also a not in operator. Both these operators are known as membership operators. The string module consists of a number of useful constant, classes and functions. These functions are used to manipulate strings to do different types of operation. As sample examples of functions are given over here. The list is very exhaustive, which can be referred from the textbook. This is a sample extract from the textbook wherein you can see each function is being written and the details of what the function is doing is explained in detail. Let us see how we can do searching through a string. We can use the function called find to search for a substring within another string. The function find finds the first occurrence of the substring. If the substring is not found, then it returns -1. In the given example, we have a string called banana. Inside the banana, we are trying to find a string called NA using the function find function. And what the function will return is the position of the starting letter as seen from the example. There is also a replace function associated with the string module. The replace function is just like the search and replace operation in a word processor. It replaces all occurrences of the search string with a replacement string. Sample examples are provided. List is a versatile data type available in Python. It is a sequence in which elements are written as a list of comma-separated values between square brackets. The key features of the list is that it can have elements that belong to different data types as seen from the example. In the first print statement, you can see the list is a collection of integers. In the second one, list is a collection of string, and in the third one, it is a collection of string as well as numbers. And in the fourth one, you can see it is a combination of list inside list. So just like strings, if you look inside the list, we can get any single element in a list using an index specified in the square brackets. So if you have a list consisting of the friends, I can try to print the friends of 1. Remember, the indexing starts at 0, just like the string. Important property of the list is they are mutable. That is, we can change an element of a list using the index operator. Whereas in strings they are immutable. We cannot change the contents of a string. In the given example, fruit is a string, and when I am trying to change the first character of the string, it gives me an error. Whereas in the second example, low2 is a string where I have a set of 5 elements. When I try to change the third element, it allows me to do so. Thus, an important property which we should remember is lists are mutable. We can also use the length function to tell us the number of elements in the. Other options possible with list are concatenation operations. Where I have two lists, I can use the plus operator to concatenate the list. I can also do the slicing of a list by using the same kind of operation, that is square brackets and the slicing operator of colon. Examples are shown in the slide. Python has got various list methods to help the programmers to work efficiently with list. Let us see one or two examples. A common one which is seen is the sort. So if I have a list, I can apply the sort method on it, which will try to print the list in the alphabetical order. Like list, tuple is another data structure supported by Python. It is very similar to list but mainly differs in two things. Firstly, a tuple is a sequence of immutable objects. This means that while you can change the value of one or more items in a list, you cannot change the values in a tuple. Secondly, the tuple uses parentheses to define its elements, whereas list uses square bracket. Given are some examples of creating tuples. Creating a tuple is very simple. For creating a tuple, you need to put the different comma separated value within a parenthesis. Even if you are not mentioning parenthesis, by default it will be taken as tuple. So if you want to create a tuple with a single element, you must add a comma after the element. In the absence of a comma, remember Python treats the element as an ordinary data type. How do we access values in tuple? Like all other sequences which we have seen, indices in the tuple also start at 0. We can perform different operations like slicing, concatenation also on a tuple. To access values in a tuple, slice operation is used along with the index or indices to obtain value stored at that particular index. Moving to updating tuples, we have already learned that tuple is immutable. So the values in the tuple cannot be changed. It will result in an error. We can only extract values from one tuple to another tuple, or we can even add tuples and create a new tuple. Since tuple is an immutable data structure, we cannot delete values from it also. So a program to illustrate it is shown. We try deleting tuple using the del command in del tup, but after deleting also, if you try to print it, it will give you a name error that the name tup does not support item deletion. Like strings and list, we can perform operations like concatenation, repetition, etc. on tuples using plus and star. So the result over here is a new tuple, not a string. In fact, tuples respond to all of the general sequential operations we have used on string. As tuples are sequences, indexing and slicing works the same way for tuples as they do for strings. There are some built-in tuple functions. For example, CMP, which compares elements of two tuples, LEN, which gives the total length of the tuple, max and min, which returns item from the tuple with max and min value respectively, and you can have even function which converts the list into tuple. There are a number of tuple functions available in the textbook. Please refer the textbook for details. Dictionary is a data structure in which we store values as a pair of key and value. Each key is separated from its value by a colon and consecutive items are separated by commas. The entire items in a dictionary are enclosed in curly braces. If there are many keys and values in a dictionary, they can also be written just one key value pair on a line to make it more easily readable. Keys in the dictionary must be unique and can be of any immutable data type like strings, numbers or tuple. There is no stringent requirement for uniqueness and typeness of values. Values of a key can be of any type. Dictionaries are actually not sequences, they are mappings. They are actually a collection of objects that store objects by keys instead of position. How do we create and access values in a dictionary? The syntax to create dictionary is simple. A dictionary can be created by specifying key value pairs separated by a colon in curly brackets as shown in the first line. You can just print the particular dictionary value using the keys like name, age and class. Update a dictionary, we just need to override the existing value as shown in the example. Or you can even add a new item into the dictionary by specifying the key value pair as we had done for the existing pair. So you can add a new entry and modify the existing items in a dictionary. We can delete one or more items from the dictionary using the del keyword as shown in the example. To delete or remove all the items in just one statement, we can use the clear function also. Finally, to remove an entire dictionary from the memory, we can again use the del statement as shown in the example. Just like other data structures, there are a numerous number of built-in dictionary methods and functions like clear, copy, hash key, items, keys, update and values, which can be used for different purposes. We can try to search inside dictionary with the help of keys. We can try to find out the values inside the dictionary, etc. The list is exhaustive. Please refer textbook for the entire list.